an interesting time in the last couple of months in the crypto markets, seeing as there was this massive run up with the Bitcoin ETF news, and that started what felt like the start of a new bull market. And it's the price of Bitcoin and a lot of speculation around Solana's ecosystem, meme coins, not so much the dinosaur altcoins or like altcoins from the last cycle, but a lot of memes, certainly, a lot of uh, airdrop farming in the early stages, especially on Solana ecosystem. A lot of other recent airdrops hadn't really taken off, like Base, um, ZK Sync, and a few other ones, but it seems like since Bitcoin has reached the previous all-time highs at 69,000, and then we set a record new high at around 73, 74,000. The markets have been trending sideways for the last 3 months, and I know you guys are feeling your patience being tested. Definitely, uh, I I won't say I know what's going on. I've got no idea really, and I've been in the markets for sort of 6 or 7 years with crypto, at least. I guess starting sort of end of 2016. What I've I've stopped trying to predict the markets, but I just kind of look at some of the facts and try to rationalize some ideas around that. So what I'm noticing at the moment is the stock market is at all-time highs, both the Nasdaq and S&P 500. So the largest companies in the world, the ones that are generally the largest by market cap, the 500 largest companies, and the top 100 companies that are tech, which, between the magnificent seven largest market caps in Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla, and Google, and Amazon, these companies, they pretty much make up like 34%, or at least 30% of this S&P 500 or 500 largest companies in America anyway. Both of these indexes are at all-time highs, and I'd say it's pretty difficult to find any really opportunities in the market. Most things seems to be priced in already, and there's not a lot of opportunities, it seems like. And also, it's an election year, so these are the things that I'm noting. I'd say roughly about 3 months ago, when we started moving sideways, I noticed that there was a big divergence, or like where the stock market started heading up a lot higher, but we've seen crypto markets, altcoins, Bitcoin, head in the other direction. This is usually a negative sign. They're not always correlated, but often when you see strength in the Nasdaq, you'll see strength in the crypto markets as well. So that's one thing I've noted. Does this have significance? I'm not sure, but it is something that's I guess I'm paying attention to. And what we've seen in recent days, in the last 3 days, is Bitcoin tests around like $60,000 support range for the fifth or sixth or even seventh time now. So that support has become, each time, as they say, each time support is tested, it becomes weaker. And a lot of the moves, you got to ask yourself whether these bounces are acting like eggs or they're acting like tennis balls. So when price heads towards key support levels, are we seeing price bounce from those levels, or are we seeing them sort of hug those support levels and then eventually break down? And I'm seeing weakness in the market, sort of seeing the markets act more like eggs than tennis balls, and not much life or bounce in them. And I got in the markets sort of at different price points, mostly allocated across October through, and a little bit again in January, February. So was up a decent amount, and now I'm sort of break even or just a little bit up, transparently. And I know some people that had made like 10 times on Solana, and through meme coins and that sort of thing. But if you're in the markets right now, I feel like it's probably a good time to be on the defensive side. I still think there's a strong chance that we will see new highs, and what I originally anticipated was we would see this sort of run up and a very short cycle. But instead of having momentum and follow through at all-time highs, I've seen a lot of price just settle at the sort of 58 to 73,000 level for Bitcoin anyway. And this tells me that we've potentially got a much longer bull cycle, which means that what we're experiencing now might be more similar to sort of the end of 2019 or early 2020, where we had a massive spike up and then things sort of is very quiet over the winter, or sorry, the summer for the US, and then potentially we see some more movement, or we see some accumulation around $48,000 or $45,000, back where the price of Bitcoin was trading when the ETF had just launched. And we'll see things move up from there potentially. But my guess is there's probably going to be a relief bounce here, but eventually it'll get sold off again, and we'll see Bitcoin backfill the wick and potentially cascade again. I'm looking to just sit out of the market if we start to reclaim. Well, I guess first off, like, show some bullish market structure. So on daily time frames, starting to see higher highs and higher lows. That would be the first condition, and then the second one would be reclaiming some key levels, like sort of Bitcoin at 63, 64, 65,000. That would be a second part, or like a snowball of two conditions where I would start to become more optimistic that things are going to head back up. But in the meantime, I don't think it's particularly useful to be completely invested. So I've got some stable coins. I might buy another liquidation if we get it. Otherwise, I'm happy to sit out and just focus on and use my mental bandwidth for other areas of my life at the moment, and see how things go. So that's my thoughts. Prior to moving into stablecoins recently on this bounce, I was holding mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. Solana is also other coin that's been very popular this run, but with the ETH ETF, that's sort of where my concentration or bet has been. And that raises a good point. I suppose Ethereum is potentially going to see inflows from as early as next week, but I also think sentiment into market has shifted. So potentially the news will be by the news event, but I still think there's a lot of downward pressure. So I'm not willing to participate just yet. So love to hear what you guys think. This is kind of where my thoughts are at the moment, and thought I'd share my thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Cheers. Bye.